Aquilo Miguello has been nosing in the van. What do you want, cheeky lad? So let's look up my box of goodies. Well, I'm doing another unboxing. What am I like? What am I like? Right. That's exciting stuff, isn't it? But you want to get in here, don't you? Let me get me things out first. So here's some part numbers. Air filter. Fuel filter. And oil filter. Get some light in there. So there's the fuel filter. If you can even see that just in here. And I remember last time it was a bugger, not so much to do the job as just to get it out of there. It didn't want to come out and it needed a bit of judicious wiggling. Give it a bit of a wipe before I pull the plugs out. I think last time I did this I tried to get the whole cartridge out and it wouldn't come, and I ended up just taking the top off and dropping the new filter in. This clip open. There we go. Now the dog can slightly better see the rabbit. There we go. One done. Right, I need something to cover that tube. Got some fingers cut off a pair of latex gloves here, which will do to protect these tubes. Right, which way did these ones undo? I just wanted to squeeze. Come on. There we go. Get that covered up so you don't get any grot in it. Come on. This one's not quite so important because this is the input rather than the outlet. So whatever comes out of here is going to get filtered anyway. So I'll just bung that in the corner, out of sight and out of mind. Right, now let's see if this thing wants to cooperate and come out. That's last time. Fans of continuity will have noticed that things are not the same while you're in a different position for a start, because surprise, surprise, about 10 minutes into the job it started raining before. I was stuck trying to move this cartridge. It's clipped in on the inside and you can't get behind it or in front of it, or you can't get at it to do anything to persuade it off the clips. And as I was heaving up on it, it was just bending, and being made of plastic, I thought it's going to break. So amongst my inventive attempts to free it, a syringe filled with penetrating oil and a bit of pipe on the front, and I tried to get that round the back to put some of this on the clips, even though you can't actually see where they are. Made no difference at all, still heaving on it, and it felt like it was going to break rather than move. So I did actually contemplate just taking the top off and buying one of those wee cheapo suction pumps to suck the old diesel out of it and do it that way. But then, in an amazing brainwave, or more a desperation wave, I thought maybe I can tap it up from underneath if I'm gentle. Trouble is there's a drainage hole or drainage plug on the bottom as well, which you don't want to hit. But I was running out of ideas, so I got underneath and a couple of taps and it came out. Obviously I've just positioned it back there to show you, but it really didn't take much effort. So it just shows if you can push something from the right angle, it makes all the difference, because trying to pull it from on top, it just absolutely wasn't budging at all. So we're back where we started now, but I've got this off, so I'm going to undo the pipes again, because I put them back on before when it started raining, and we'll get that out. Anyway, yeah, see, one goes into the injector, so try and keep that a bit cleaner. I guess we'll go finger wet, yeah. I did get my right before I'm looking for it, so I need to wet that away. Now, you're going to come out without a fight. There we go. Right. Let's take this somewhere we can manoeuvre on it. See how we look. Come on, come out. It doesn't want to come out. It's probably just its rubber grommet holding it. There we go. Bit of a twizzle. Did it rightly. It doesn't look that bad actually. Right, I'm not going to dump it in the dirty oil before. Check that the new one's actually right. Let's leave that there for now while we compare and contrast. Tiny bit taller actually, but they're the same width. It looks a tiny bit narrower as well. Right, well we'll have to see if it fits. What about the holes? I don't suppose it matters if it's not a tight fit inside. I'm not quite sure what they give me. 2 rubber grommets here as well. Not sure what that one's for. Does it go in there maybe? It's terrible when they give you extra rubber grommets but don't tell you what they're for. I'll give that a rinse out with some brake cleaner. Made in Bosnia and Herzegovina. That's not something you see every day, is it? I still can't see anywhere that grommet's supposed to go. So I'm assuming, unless it came out on the end of that screw. There we go. It's off the end of the screw. Right. Now we're motoring. Right. Let's see if this new filter is going to fit. Otherwise we'll be headed off at the pass before we start. What do we do with it? Let's seems to go in alright. It does look a wee tiny bit taller than the one that was in there before. So I hope that's not going to make any difference. Oh, that's weird, that diesel filter on. It's been because it's been in the back of the van. I've already got a dead fly in it. So much for keeping everything scrupulously clean. It's spoiling my virginal clean diesel. There we go, full at last. Right. Now I can put my lid back on. Which way did it go? That way. Before I put this back in, I don't know if you can even see that there's the annoying clips that it clips behind, so there's wee plastic lugs on the back of it that just slide into those wee hooks there and weld themselves in place. So before I put it back in, I'll throw a bit of silicone grease on those wee tabs so that hopefully when I come to do this again in another couple of years, I won't have to become apoplectic with rage. Now, that's the bit that, having protested so much about coming out, this will now not want to go back in again. Let's move that out of the way. Stay in there. Oh, don't be awkward. We've had enough awkwardicusness for today. That's the boy. Right. Let's see if we can do this without spilling all the diesel out of the filter housing. And see where my clips are lining up. Right there should do it. Oh, good God. That was relatively painless. And I think I have to bend that wee metal bit in. I don't know if it matters that much. Right. Let's get the accoutrements back in. So let's put the clean line in first. Because it's the one we don't want to mess up and get dirty. There we go. And then the pumpy. It's in. And blicky. Come on. In you go, lad. There we are. Right, now, where's the torch gone off? Right in front of me. It's just not shining in any of the right places. Oh, I could do with wiping those off, because later when I come to look for leaks, I'll be going, oh no, it's leaking. Now what you're meant to do is unscrew that leak off vent on the back and then pump the primer, or the primer bulb I should say, but I don't think if I do undo that I wouldn't be convinced I would be able to get it up again, tightened up. So I might just hope for the best, give it a pump of the primer bulb and hope there's enough diesel in the actual filter to get things going. It's nice and firm anyway. Let's move that to try and make access easier. Once you get something, not very much. Okay, let's see what happens. I suspect. Oh, that's alright. I haven't got a proper kind of setup for in the car here to hold you in place. Try that. Right, let's see what happens. I suspect it's not going to like it because I wasn't able to purge the air properly, but hopefully it'll be enough in the filter and tank. I'm putting my seatbelt on, I'm not optimistic. Hopefully it'll be enough to start, and then if we keep the revs up it'll maybe purge itself. Let's see what happens anyway. I was going to do the oil change next because I was going to do these jobs in order of how annoying they were to do. Although for future reference, the tapping that up with the hammer trick makes that one a lot less of a ball ache than it has been in the past. But since it's been raining, well, all year nearly, but especially this afternoon, it's a bit muddy under here, so I don't fancy crawling on the ground to do an oil change. It's also quite late in the evening, so I think while I'm here and I've got my screwdriver, I might as well do the air filter. Now, I don't want to tempt fate, but this is a real piece of piss to do, this one. Oh god, I've done it, haven't I? Wait, you see something going horrifically wrong. Let me just adjust you here, so you can gaze in wonder at this feat of mechanicness. Last time when I bought one of these, it was, let me lift you up actually, it didn't seem to want to fit quite nicely there. There's a bit of a, see, a bit peeping out, but I think it's probably because this housing's a bit bent or cracked, or it's not cracked, it's just bent or something. But anyway, it should take 5 minutes to get this air filter changed. Just leave it there for a minute. When I first got this van and I found all the fasteners were Torx headed, I thought it was a right pain in the arse because I didn't actually have any Torx drives and had to buy some specially. But I really like them now. They just don't slip like Phillips screws or flathead screws do. So I'm a convert to the Torx bits. Of course, that one in there, somebody's replaced that with a normal screw, which interrupts my flow. See, there's my 5-minute time limit gone already, because I'm going to have to move this out of the way now and find a flathead screwdriver for the purpose. Why did they have to hide that last screw underneath the tube? That's cruel, that is. For us lads that are working to a 5-minute deadline. Come on, off you come, lad. Oof. There we go. And somebody's replaced this Torx screw here with a flathead, or a Phillips screw that's been converted to flathead. It wasn't me. I'm sure I didn't do it. I would never be so crude. Right, let's get this off. It's a good job they were captive screws, because I just turned that upside down. They didn't fall out. I'll sit on there a minute. Wow, this actually looks pretty clean. Well, the top of it does. Let's see. Oh no, it's a bit dirty underneath. Look at that. What's that? Lots of leaves and fly wings. Right. I'll have to get the mini shitty Makita vacuum cleaner and give that a suck. Remind me someday to do a review on how this is one of the shittest Makita tools ever. Nothing in the top? No. I should hope not. Otherwise the filter hasn't been working. Let's have a look at this old one. So yeah, I suppose it is quite grotty. But you can see where it didn't quite fit properly in here. So I suspect this may have been the wrong one. It's slightly different from the one I've just got for now. So hopefully it'll fit a bit better. Luft filter. Looks quite similar, except this has got a thicker layer of this stuff on the bottom. Right. This all back. This is just got a slight kink in it here, so it's still a bit showing at that edge. I'm sure it's making a tight enough seal for nothing bad to happen. Right, get this one sanded on first before we do anything else. There we go. Check if nothing dislodged anything. So that's fuel filter and air filter done. Oil filter will have to wait for another day, when hopefully it won't be a swamp out here. So we shall return at some time in the unforeseeable future. That first half of the video was Sunday. It's now Thursday. So much for I'll finish this tomorrow. Monday, what happened? Monday I went out to finish the job and realised that I didn't actually have as much oil as I thought left in my barrel. So I had to order new oil. Then Tuesday and Wednesday, cut to interlude. And that brings us to today, Thursday, which is a bit damp. The ground still, but at least so far it's not raining. So we'll try and get this bloody service finished today by doing the oil change. Apologies if you're wobbling about like a hen on a hot griddle there, because you're kind of balanced precariously again. As you can see, the ground is still muddy and wet, but I've put down some cardboard and my special rolly mechanic-y crawler mat thing. So let's get under and see where we can put you. So there's a silly flappy trap door thing here in the engine cover, which broke off within about 10 minutes of me first opening it the first time. So I've made zip tie, cable tie hinges. Oh, a pebble inside. That must have bounced up in there when it was hanging open one time. What's that? It's like a bit of tar. Interesting. Never know what you might find in here. What I could do with finding is the Torx bit I dropped into the engine bay. I was trying to get that fuel filter off. The oil filter is in here. You probably can't see, but maybe I'll show you. Hopefully that's shining on something. I can't actually see what the camera can see from here. But there's the filter. It's one of those weird cartridge type ones where you've got a cover that you have to get off. And I had a hell of a job getting this off last time. And had to buy a kit of special filter removal things. It is 9618. I think that means it's 18 something diameter, radius, and 96 teeth. I'll put a link as ever in the description anyway. That's the right one. I can't even see what I'm doing myself here. Yeah, that seems to fit on there. Now, when I put this on again last time, I did actually grease it a bit and didn't torque it to 1,000,000 billion quintillion Newton meters. So if it doesn't come off easily this time, I've only myself to blame. Are we going that right way? It doesn't help that this flap just obscures your view of what you're doing. Oh, that felt quite easy. Oh, was it turning and not the thing slipping off? I'll soon find out if some oil starts dribbling. You've probably got a better view than me. Yeah, we're definitely turning there. Right, time to get the drip tray in. There's even less room under here than there was under the Mini. Now, the tricky bit is how do I get my hand under there to undo this at the same time? I suppose it points that way, so it should mostly go in that direction. You know it's not going to be like that, don't you? I'll get it hand loosened anyway first. Hopefully I can get a couple of fingers in there, as the bishop said to the nun. Oh, that's typical. Just, oh no, we're away again. I was going to say it just jammed while it was coming. Come on. Come on, you fucker. Actually looks quite clean, the soil so far, from what I can see dripping. Come on. There we go. Nice and warm, but not boiling, which is always a relief. Right. Time to get you out of there and clean my paws. Maybe I'll clean my paws first while you watch that dribbling hypnotically. Let's open the top to increase the flow. Seemed to drain out quite quickly there. It's nearly done. In fact, it is done. That's never 7 litres. How come? That's very odd. Right. If that's 7 litres, I'm a Dutchman. unless there's more in it than looks. It's barely... Oh, fuck all. What's going on there? Okay, I'm not one for using the emojis, but if I was, I would be inserting the reddest of red faces emojis here. Let's just colour this one in. I just took the filter off and thought, why is there hardly any oil in here? I hadn't actually taken the sump plug out yet. What an idiot. Yeah. Beneath this veer of incompetence, though, I do actually know what I'm doing. Right. I shall probably edit that bit out cleverly, so I look like I'm not a complete fuckwit. But the sump plug seems to have some kind of square bit needed to get it off, which is weird. I don't remember that from last time, but it can't be a different sump plug, so I'll have to... I'm sure I've got a... I have actually got a box of different size square drive bits in the house, so maybe that was what I bought those for, to get this sump plug off. I do remember one of the things I came across when I first got this van was that it uses a lot of weird fasteners, hence all the screws or Torx bits and, you know, things like that. Anyway, give us a minute to hook them out and then we'll get back under again. I just spent about 20 minutes looking through various tool bags and shelves and things trying to find what I was convinced I had, a set of square drive sockets. Or, they won't be socket anyway. When I eventually found the box I thought they were in, they turned out to be something else completely. But then I remembered I had a set of drain plugs. I thought, probably used that to get it out last time. So cue another 20 minutes looking for them. Couldn't find them anywhere in the house, and then on a brainwave, found them in the back of the van in a tin. So I think this is what you use to get the sump off here. Not the sump plug. So I shall need to find the one that fits and then find a socket that matches the other side of it. Pretty sure that must be what I did last time, because I don't seem to have a special set of square drive thingy whatsits. Right, let's get under and find out what size this thing is. Goes me drain plug. I'm doing a bit here. What do you want? Here comes a cheeky chicken. A white cheeky chicken. You shouldn't probably hang about a place where there's lots of black oil. Yes, I haven't got anything. Oh, here's a black chicken. Or a white one that has been near some oil. Anyway, back to the show. That all turned out to be a bit Heath Robinson in the end, but we got there. The sump plug is a square drive, which, as I say, I thought I had a box of special square drive bits, but either I haven't or I couldn't find it. But I have these drain plugs, and the 8mm one is luckily square, because lots of the other ones are hexagonal. And a 19mm socket fits over the wide part, but with my 3/8 drive sockets it was just barely over the edge, so I didn't think it would have much grip. So then I tried putting a long nose socket over it, but that drop down too far so it wouldn't get a grip. But luckily I found on my 1/2 inch drive sockets that the 9mm on that actually overlapped it, or it inset enough to get a decent grip on it and get it off. So for future reference, 8mm square drive if you've got one. If you haven't, get a set of those drain plugs and hopefully a 19mm socket that's in between shallow and deep will be enough to hold it and get a bit of purchase on there. So while the dribbles are coming out, I'm going to go and see my next quest if I can find my box of copper washers. So I'll probably be back in another 3 weeks. Wow, that was so incredulous I could even have kept the camera running. Found them within a couple of minutes. Now, let's see if we've got one that fits. First challenge, how do you get the packet open? Right, what have we got in here? What's the bet none of them fit? Oh, first go, look at that. That'll do. Right. Nothing more suitable in there. I'll keep that in the emergency spares department, the old one, because you never know when you might need a quick botch. Right, you should finish draining by now. Still dribbling a wee bit, but it's never going to stop. Right, I tell you what I will do. I'll put a few things away here. Is there anything I can put away? No, because I kind of need everything. Well, I can put these copper dooflers away for a start, and those sockets. Drain plug on that cloth so I don't lose it. Time to clean this filter neck, whatever you want to call it, housing, entrance, flap. Still dribbling a bit there. Get that out of the way. That should be right. Give the thing a wee wash out too. And get this housing cleaned up. And then we'll put it back in. $25 Newton meters. Bear that in mind when you're putting these on, because people always do them up far too tight. You all thought this was a tin opener on your Leatherman, but it's actually an O-ring removal tool. Right, we need a bit of clean oil to lubricate that up and then stick it back on. Where are we going? Mechanicking by sense of smell here. Did put that rubber ring on here. Just checking. Just when I've wax so lyrical about not over tightening it, and then you think this is actually going quite tight now and not sealing, but I think that is because of the spring compression here. A couple of twizzles should do it. Feels like 25 Newton meters to me. It's funny, if it goes tight and then the spring must start to compress and it goes loose again. So yeah, that feels alright to me. Not too tight, otherwise you'll hate yourself next time you come to do it. Someday I'm going to get round to putting some proper kind of catch on this hinges, because I've noticed in the van sometimes it makes a bit of a kind of rattly noise. It doesn't sound like anything mechanical, just like something's a bit loose, and I do suspect it's this kind of doing that, bouncing up and down. Never been able to track it down, but that's my suspicion. And we can't go on together with suspicious minds. Right. Give that a wee wait. And then we'll put the sump plug back in. Many moons ago, when I was even stupider than I am now, I got did an oil change on a van I had, and I bought all these really expensive oil additive to put in as well, because it was quite an old engine. I thought I'd treat it, and of course did all the stuff, changed the filter, poured all the oil in the top. I thought, oh, he's gonna love this, the old boy. And then realised I was standing in a massive oil slick because, yep, I'd forgotten to put the sump plug back in. I'm sure we've all done it at some time in our lives. You've got to do it once so you know not to ever do it again. It makes it more annoying trying to get this, because the engine cover kind of sags down, so you have to push that up as well to make contact, if you know what I mean. I'm even near it. Where are you? There we go. That's us. Of course it can't get in because I'm left-handed, so I'm going to have to do some crazy swivel in here, and again do it by sense of smell. Should do it. None of these need to be mega tight because they're not under any pressure. They just need to be tight enough to seal. And with the sump plug you can never tell for a while because there's a few residual drips around, especially like here coming off the under tray and stuff. But I suspect, with my vast experience of doing work on motors and never cocking anything up at all. You did remember to edit that bit out before. Did I? Oh God, maybe I forgot. Anyway, let's put some new stuff in. 1 litre. When I was looking up the capacities in the manual, it said the filler neck is inaccessible, so use the funnel under the driver's chair. I just thought, oh, that's exciting. Have I got a funnel hidden under my driver's chair that I haven't actually found yet? But I hadn't, so I was bitterly disappointed. Right, I'll leave that to work its way down into the sump, and then we can take a level. Right, that's been about 10-15 mins while I tidied my tools away there, so I'll take a pull on the dipstick, but I can never read these plastic ones. I'm not the only one, I've seen other people on the interwebs saying it. But just for the lulz, let's give it a go. What does that mean? Somewhere between minimum and maximum. Might be just below the max. It's not going to be completely accurate anyway, because we're parked on a hill here. Ish, a slope anyway. And people who say you should do work on the car oil changes, dipstick reading on level ground, have obviously never been to Northumberland. We don't do level ground up here. But luckily, this van does have another trick for doing a oil reading, even though I actually did manage to read the dipstick there. I can never read the one on Mazda's Mini. It's really crap. But let's go inside and I'll show you the trick. So what you do is you turn on the ignition and then hit the odometer button there, hold that in for a couple of seconds, and it'll give you an oil reading up on the screen at the top, which is a bit more readable than trying to decipher a plastic dipstick. This is about the 4th time I've tried to do this, because I keep hitting the windscreen wiper lever with my arm and I'm trying to do it one-handed. So hold that in. Come on. There we go. So 6 dots, which I think is maximum. So that should be okay. As like I say, we're on a bit of a slope here, so it's not going to be one way or the other completely accurate, but good enough. Oh, yep, let's go. What a sewing machine. I should reset that actually anyway, just out of interest. And I suppose we should go outside and look underneath for leaks.